Buenos días y bienvenidos a este video programa sobre cómo decir la hora. Please make sure that you've printed out the structured note packet from the Weebly website. Once you have your note packet, we can begin. When we want to ask what time is it, we say, ¿Qué hora es? And when we reply, there are two different structures that we can use. The first is when we have 1 o'clock. We would say, es la una. But for all others, we would use son las. So we have the examples below. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Again, when it's 1 o'clock, we say es la una. But for the other times, we start with son las. So 2 o'clock is son las dos. 3 o'clock, son las tres. And 4 o'clock is son las cuatro. Pretty easy, right? Now, when we have a half an hour, we have to say y media. For example, with 8:30, we would say son las ocho y media. The y media means and a half, as an and a half an hour. In fact, whenever we have extra minutes between 1 minute and 29 minutes, we use y to add them on. So, in Spanish, when we have 8:15, we would say son las ocho y quince, meaning it's 8 o'clock and 15 minutes. Take a minute, pause the video, and try out the following examples. Once you have your answers written down, press play again and check your answers to see if you got them correct. So now that you have your answers written down, let's see if you got them correct. 3:05 is son las tres y cinco. 9:10 is son las nueve y diez. And 11:23 is son las once y veintitrés. Now, when we have a time that is after the 30-minute mark, we subtract it from the next hour. If I want to say 11:45, then I subtract the minutes remaining from the next hour. So I need to find two things. How many minutes are left, and what is the next hour? So if we use 11:45, I need to figure out what's the next hour. Well, the next hour is 12. And how many minutes until it turns 12 o'clock? Well, the answer is 15. So 11:45 would be son las doce menos quince. It's 12 o'clock minus 15 minutes. Take a look at this practice. You can pause the video if you'd like and try your hand at it, or we can just go over it right away. 3:47, we need to find the next hour. The next hour is 4 o'clock. And how many minutes until the next hour? It's 13. So we would say son las cuatro menos trece. For 7:55, the next hour is 8 o'clock, and we're going to minus 5 minutes. So son las ocho menos cinco. And 10:40 is son las diez menos veinte. And 10:40 would be son las once menos veinte. So here's some vocabulary words. En punto means on the dot. Mediodía means midday or noon. And medianoche means midnight. To say AM, we say de la mañana. And PM is de la tarde. When we want to ask at what time something is, we ask a qué hora. So, for example, if I want to ask at what time do you have math class, I say a qué hora tienes la clase de matemáticas. So, if I wanted to answer I have math class at 8:20, we would say yo tengo la clase de matemáticas a las 8:20. 2:20. Let's take a look at another example. ¿A qué hora tienes la clase de ciencia? At what time do you have science class? If I wanted to respond, I have science class at 1:45, we would say yo tengo la clase de ciencia a las 2:15. Now you can try writing out some answers about your own schedule